You're in a rush, my dear.
We're in Tionesta, California, and we thought this morning we would go to the Tule Lake War Relocation Center. It's like a cousin of the Manzanar site, is our understanding. But we found out last night that in order to see the camp, you have to book your tour in advance.
Turn right.
Which is not like Manzanar. So they just opened a little bit ago. We called, and there's only one tour available today. It starts in 20 minutes. Waze is telling us it's going to take us 22 minutes to get there, so we're going to try to rush. Whoa. To get to the relocation center to see if we can get in on the only tour that's going to happen today. We'll see you in a few moments, and we'll let you know if we get in the tour.
Tule Lake National Monument is a significant historical site located in the remote northeastern corner of California, near the Oregon border. This monument stands as a solemn reminder of a challenging chapter in American history during World War II.
Situated in Modoc County near the Oregon border, Tule Lake National Monument is off the beaten path. You'll find this remote location 8 miles south of Tule Lake along Highway 139. The visitor center is the only driveway off the highway between County Roads 113 and 176. At the time of our visit, Google Maps puts you about 1/8 of a mile north of the actual visitor center location, so we recommend check the National Park website for specific navigation instructions. We arrived just in time to catch the start of the presentation outside of the visitor center.
We made it to the Tule Lake War Relocation area.
Barely.
Barely made it, but we made it on time. We started with a presentation that was done in front of the visitor center here. And next, everybody who's part of this tour is hopping in their cars. We're going to follow the ranger to the what was the prison, and he was telling us that out of all of the relocation centers, this Tule Lake was the only one where a concrete prison was built, and that was in response to a riot that happened here that resulted in 1,000 U.S. troops with tanks coming here to declare martial law. Because there was unrest. We're going to go see the prison next.
Mm-hmm. During the war, this site was home to the largest and most controversial of the 10 war relocation centers, where over 18,000 Japanese Americans were forcibly relocated and confined. What makes Tule Lake unique is that it was converted into a segregation center for those labeled as disloyal to the United States government. Exploring the site today, visitors can witness the remnants of the prison and the barracks where families lived under harsh conditions. The landscape is stark, with barbed wire fences and the remains of these buildings telling the story of resilience and struggle.
This relocation center originally spanned over 2 square miles. The remnants of this location are substantially fewer than what you'll find at Manzanar. There were several barracks originally on these grounds, but nearly all of the original buildings are long gone. Inside the old prison building, you can see prison cells and the stark conditions for those held at this location. One of the walls still has original graffiti next to the cell beds, providing a glimpse into the desperation prisoners felt. One person wrote, "Show me the way to go home," while another wrote, when the golden sun has sunk beyond the desert horizon and darkness followed, under a dim light casting my lonesome heart. We saw one cell that has all of its original parts back in place. Everything inside the cell is as it was. It's a heartbreaking experience to witness this epic in history. Executive Order 9066 of President Franklin Roosevelt brought forth one of the darkest moments in America. Businesses were shuttered, families broken, dreams lost. There's more to experience by visiting this national monument than we can share in this recap. We highly recommend, if you are able, make the trips to both Tule Lake National Monument and Manzanar. You can watch our prior visit to Manzanar. We'll leave a link in the video description. These were the other original buildings that were mentioned on the tour. I think one was a carpenter's building. The brown one is the top of a guard tower. Further south of the site on Highway 395, you can also visit the Manzanar historic site, which similarly was a center of incarceration. While both were part of the same tragic history, Tule Lake became a segregation center for those labeled as disloyal, making its story even more complex and compelling. Here, those who protested or refused to sign loyalty oaths were separated from the general population, making the site particularly significant in understanding the full scope of wartime hysteria.
At the Visitor Center, you'll find a small but informative section of exhibits that tell the history of this site. Here you can view photographs, personal stories, historical artifacts, and detailed accounts of life in the camp.
Back on the main road, you'll find a plaque for California Historical Landmark 850-2 Tule Lake Relocation Center. It was placed here by the State Department of Parks and Recreation in cooperation with the Northern California Western Nevada District Council and Japanese American Citizens League in 1979. After visiting the National Monument, we hopped in the car and drove north.
Honey, we just crossed the border.
We're driving, and we're looking for a supermarket, and we saw the sign that said, "Welcome to Oregon."
Boom, just like that.
Wasn't expecting that one.
We got a bit of a surprise as we found ourselves crossing the border into Oregon, but that worked as we found a store for some food and supplies.
So they have two. They have an Energizer and single. We already have one, so maybe I just get the Energizer.
Sure, that comes with batteries.
But this has more lumen.
Oh, yeah. It's like 50% more lumen.
Yeah, so we're gonna get this.
You can get the extra lumen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, are we good? So we got some stuff. Well, show me what you got.
We're gonna go spelunking.
Okay, we got bread, bars, and wine.
Next, back in the car, we went to head into the town of Tule Lake.
Home of the honkers. It's the geese.
It's the geese.
Yeah.
We supported local high schoolers raising money for a trip to Europe by having them wash our dirty truck. Tule Lake has a very small and quaint downtown area that takes you back to another era. The local vibe of the downtown area offers a unique glimpse into the town's history. You'll find a small hotel, a main street with local shops, and Veterans Park. The downtown area serves as a hub for local events and festivals. We stumbled upon a local livestock event at the Fairgrounds when we made our way into town. Also, if you're in the area, you'll find more related history at the Tule Lake Butte Valley Fairgrounds Museum. It has a section devoted to the history of Japanese American incarceration at the nearby Segregation Center, and you can also see a guard tower and barrack from the camp at the Fairgrounds location.
What's happening?
It's, I don't know, I don't live here. There's lots of goats and sheep and pigs.
We came to find the fairgrounds at Tule Lake because we were told that an original barracks and
a
guard tower
is here. And it
of
is.
the relocation center is here, but we seem to have stumbled across a fair thingy with livestock, and there's pigs and goats and things. Always enjoy these random pullovers. You never know what you're gonna see. This reminds me of the National Dog Show, but it's for goats. And across the way, they got the swine over there. So they don't do this kind of stuff back where we live. They used to once upon a time. We used to live in a much more rural place. It's much more grown up now. Big town, Simi Valley, California, over 100,000 people, but still a town without a brewery. What you gonna do? All right, and so there is a small museum on the fairgrounds that's closed right now, and we can't go inside, but through the gate here there is one of the original barracks from the Tule Lake Relocation Center. I'll show you that, and then I'm gonna walk around to the other side, and that's where the top of the guard tower is, so you can see part of these original structures here at the Tule Lake Fairgrounds, and I think this is just a little bit north up the road from the current visitor center. If you want to visit Tule Lake Relocation Center, they offer tours. But it sounds like it's only once a day, and it's not even every day of the week. Your best bet probably is to call in advance. We didn't even know until last night that that was recommended. But at the time that we're visiting, it's every day of the week except Tuesday and Wednesday, because they only have one ranger doing everything at that center, including the tours. So 10 a.m. ish, I think, is when the tour started, like today, right?
9:30. I think he was kind of, he's not real,
it's a little,
he kind of waits, you know, until people show up, and we had called, so I really think he was kind of waiting for us.
Yeah, so early morning, and it's one time a day, and it's a fairly small-ish site, and you'll get a lot more out of it if you do the tour, because otherwise there's a very small visitor center, and it's nowhere near the size of a Manzanar. So take the tour, get there early, make sure you're there on a tour day. That's our tip. Yep.
Visiting Tule Lake National Monument is a humbling and educational experience that offers a deeper understanding of America's history. Make sure to call ahead and plan your visit to this poignant destination. Thank you for joining us on this virtual visit of Tule Lake National Monument. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join us on our future travel adventures.